y'all, what's up? Eric Garcia with Gardenomics 101. It has been a hot summer. You know that. I know that. This is miserable. I don't know about you, but I am ready for gumbo season down in South Louisiana. When the weather starts to cool, the first thing we do is cook gumbo, and I can't wait to cook my first gumbo. But until then, we have to suffer through this heat. Our plants have to suffer through this heat. We want our plants to thrive. As gardeners, we will go to extreme lengths to get our plants to just survive. I want to talk to you about 5 tips on how to garden in this heat. Now, I may throw in an extra one. Down here in South Louisiana, we call that lagniappe, something extra for free. So 5 tips, maybe a lagniappe, on how to garden in this heat. We love our plants. We want them to thrive. We want them to survive. So check out my 5 tips for helping your plants survive this heat. Let's go. Tip number 1, what is the best time to water your garden? Best time is gonna be early morning before the sun rises, or late in the evening after it's set. What you wanna do is reduce the chance for evaporation. So obviously when the sun's out, it's hotter, more water will evaporate. So if you're one of those people who wants to water your lawn, make sure you do it early morning. I'm outside right now, it's fairly early, it's still fairly cool-ish, or late evening. Again, we wanna reduce the amount of evaporation. This leads me to my second tip, is you don't want to necessarily water all day. What you want to do is water long and deep. The problem is when the soil becomes excessively dry like it is right now, it becomes hydrophobic, meaning it won't absorb water. The water will just run off because it's so stinking dry. So when you do water, you want to water long and deep. So it's actually better for your garden to water less frequently, but when you do water for a longer period of time. And what you want to do is, rather than use you don't want to flood your garden with a big strong stream of water. It's actually better if you use a mister or the shower. You want that water to hit the soil slowly over time to absorb deep. So stick your sprinkler on for 30 minutes. I just watered my lime tree the other day for 30 minutes on a slow drip with my hose, or a little bit more than a slow drip. But the point is, you want that water to absorb deep. So you want to water for a longer period of time. Now, if you have potted plants, you can't really overwater those in this heat, especially if they're exposed to the sun. I would water them. I'd water those every day, but again, make sure you get a nice, good soaking with your watering. Our third tip is don't fertilize. Fertilizing will actually cause your plants to have more stress and more trauma. What fertilizer does is it causes your plant to grow, right? Well, plants need water to grow, and it's too dang hot to keep those roots moist. So don't fertilize right now. Your plants aren't gonna always look beautiful. They're not always gonna flower, and that's okay. Give them a rest. Now, if you want to feed your plant, feed the soil around your plant. And that leads us to the 4th tip, is mulch. Use a lot of mulch. Mulch is very functional. It retains moisture in the soil for us. So put yourself a nice 4, 5, 6 inch layer of mulch if you've got some good organic matter lying around. And what the mulch will do is it decomposes, it'll put nutrients in the soil, and it'll feed your plants over time. So don't fertilize. You don't want to traumatize your plants. All right, y'all, tip number 5, and I'm gonna turn my camera around for this one. Put your lawnmower on the highest setting. Cut your grass high. A lot of times I see people cutting the grass really, really low, but the problem with that is the lower the grass is, the shorter the grass blades are. The shorter the grass blades are, the less shadow that it's gonna cast over your soil. So high grass, more shadow, it's gonna keep your soil cooler, and it's going to reduce the amount of evaporation. So I know it might not look as good. I know everyone wants a golf course looking yard, but cut your grass high, or don't cut your grass high. If you have a lawn service, just cancel them for a couple weeks. And the tip that y'all have been waiting for, my lagniappe tip, a little extra, something extra for free, is if you have pots, if you do container gardening, find a shaded spot for your pots. Oh my goodness. Do not leave them in the direct sun. You can't water them enough. There's nothing you can do to keep them healthy in this heat. Find a spot for them. Here's a bunch of my pots, not all of them, but some of them. Went ahead and moved them underneath this tree right here. It gets some sun, but not too much. This hibiscus was in the direct sunlight, was doing terribly, but now it's actually starting to thrive here in this protected spot. We have some peppers, some more peppers, but you can see that I have moved a lot of my pots in shaded spots. Y'all, I hope these 5 tips are gonna help you keep your garden as healthy as you can right now during this hot spell. But y'all, fall is around the corner. It's there. I can see it, I can taste my gumbo. I can taste my gumbo. Keep learning and keep growing stuff.